Welcome to today's dive into one of North America's greatest ancient cities, Cahokia. Located near present-day St. Louis, Missouri, Cahokia was a thriving urban center that stood at the heart of a vast trading network. And at its peak, it was the largest city north of Mexico, with an estimated population of 20,000 to 30,000 people, bigger than London at its time. But how did Cahokia rise to such prominence, and what caused its eventual decline? Let's explore this ancient metropolis and uncover some of its secrets. Cahokia was established around 600 AD, and by the 11th century, it had become the most powerful center of the Mississippian culture. The Mississippian culture was a culture that was known for their sophisticated society, which was based on intensive agriculture, especially the cultivation of maize, beans, and squash. They also engaged in extensive trade, exchanging goods like copper, shell, and exotic stones across vast distances. I have a couple videos talking about the ancient trade network, so if that's something that interests you, make sure to check those out. But nonetheless, the city's strategic location was near the confluence of the Mississippi, the Missouri, and the Illinois rivers, which made it an ideal hub for trade and communication. The area provided fertile land for agriculture, abundant natural resources, and easy access to waterways, which facilitated trade with other regional cultures. By the 11th century, Cahokia had transformed into a powerful urban center for its time. The city was very well planned with wide streets, plazas, and of course the infamous monumental earthworks that still exist today. The most famous of these earthworks is Monks Mound, the largest pre-Columbian earthwork in North America. It stands at around 100 feet tall, and Monks Mound was the centerpiece of the city and likely served as the residence of Cahokia's elite rulers, possibly even a leader known as something like the Great Sun. Cahokia's residents built a network of other mounds which were used for a variety of purposes, some for ceremonial functions and others as burial rites. These mounds were constructed with a precision that indicated, of course, a highly organized society capable of mobilizing large labor forces. And at its height, Cahokia's layout included plazas, ceremonial areas, and residential zones. Archaeological evidence suggests that the city was organized in distinct districts, each with a different purpose. Public architecture like the wood hinge, a circular a circle of wooden posts aligned with the solstices. It demonstrates the Mississippians' advanced understanding of astronomy and their connection to the natural world. Cahokia was a complex society with a highly stratified social structure. At the top were the elite rulers who probably controlled the political, the religious, and the economic aspects of life. And quote-unquote beneath them were probably a class of skilled artisans, traders, and farmers who formed the backbone of the economy and the city. At the bottom of the social pyramid would have been laborers who worked the fields, constructed the mounds, and performed other essential tasks. Religion played a crucial role in Cahokian society, and the quote-unquote Great Sun, the political and spiritual leader, was believed to have a divine connection, acting as an intermediary between the people and the gods. The city's residents practiced elaborate rituals, including ceremonies that involved the use of sacred objects like wampum, copper, and mica. These rituals were not only religious purposes, but they also served to reinforce the power of the ruling class. Cahokia's economy was, of course, built on agriculture, but trade played an equally important role in its success. The city was a central point in a vast trade network that stretched from the Great Lakes to the Gulf of Mexico, and goods such as copper, obsidian, shells, and exotic stones were traded on this vast trade network, and it facilitated cultural exchange, which contributed to Cahokia's wealth. Archaeological evidence reveals that Cahokians had access to materials from distant places, including marine shells from the Gulf Coast and copper from the Great Lakes. This shows that Cahokia wasn't just a local center of power, but it was part of a broader regional and even intercontinental trade system. The city's economy also relied on the labor of its residents, who cultivated the crops, built the massive mounds, and produced pottery, tools, and other goods needed for daily life. As a result, Cahokia's economy was diverse, balancing agricultural production with sophisticated craft industries. Despite its success, Cahokia's power began to decline by the 13th century. While historians are still uncertain about the exact cause of its decline, several factors likely contributed. One key factor was environmental degradation. The city's reliance on agriculture, especially maize, may have strained the local environment. Deforestation, soil erosion, and the overuse of land could have led to food shortages and weakened the city's foundation. Additionally, Cahokia may have suffered from internal social unrest. Archaeological evidence suggests that violence and warfare became more prevalent in the city's final years, possibly indicating a breakdown of the political order. Evidence of burned structures and the apparent abandonment of key areas suggests that Cahokia may have experienced civil unrest or even invasions. Finally, changes in trade patterns could have played a role. As regional trade networks shifted, Cahokia may have lost its economic power and influence. With fewer resources and diminishing political control, the city, of course, began to decline. And by the mid-14th century, Cahokia had been largely abandoned as far as we know. Its once thriving population was scattered or absorbed into neighboring communities. The reasons for this collapse remain unclear, but it marks the end of an era for one of the most remarkable cities in pre-Columbian America. Though the city of Cahokia was abandoned, its legacy indeed lives on. The monumental earthworks and mounds still stand today as a testament to the ingenuity and complexity of its inhabitants. Cahokia's Mound State Historic Site is a World Heritage Site, and it preserves what remains of the city and allows us to glimpse the grandeur of what was once North America's largest urban center. Cahokia's influence can also be seen in the cultural traditions of the indigenous American groups that followed. Many tribes, especially in the Mississippi River Valley and beyond, trace their origins to the Mississippian culture, and their customs and beliefs reflect the enduring legacy of Cahokia. The story of Cahokia is a powerful reminder of the complexity and achievements of indigenous cultures in North America before European contact. Its rise and fall offers insights into the challenges of sustaining large, complex societies and the ways in which environment, politics, and trade can shape the course of history. Cahokia was a remarkable civilization, one that shaped the history of North America. So let's honor it in ways that we can. Thank you for listening to this video. If you enjoyed, please make sure to hit that like, subscribe, and all that cool YouTube stuff. I cover all sorts of stuff from different archaeological sites, ancient cultures in North America and America abroad, including Mesoamerica. You name it, I got it here. I'm talking about it, trying to make videos on it. I even take suggestions. So if there's something you want to learn about, leave it in the comments below and I might cover it. Other than that, it has been Doogie from Doogie's Earthworks. I love you.